yourself too. But you know, for a lot of folks, it's really hard to feel any kind of love inside, and yet you have that opportunity to learn how to love yourself. And for some of us, that's a long journey. I didn't find it easy to love myself and to discover love in lots of ways that you heard about a little bit in the introduction, that maybe looking for love in all the wrong places first. And yet for me, the journey for love is like all of us have that journey. We're all looking for love. Look at all the songs about love. You know, I went on the internet and looked up songs about love, and there were like 500,000 songs about love. Everybody wants to feel love. And yet you turn on the television, you see all the things that are coming at us through the media, and love looks like just a physical thing. You have to look a certain size, you know, or if you're a certain age, you can't find love. And then love looks like, you know, two people meet each other and half an hour later they're in bed, and that's love. So love has got lots of different messages, and it's coming at us in all different ways. Well, I had some messages about love as a child that were kind of messed up. And Dad, being an abusive alcoholic, and I took the abuse, told me that love was physical and you couldn't trust it. And that's why all those things you heard about in the introduction happened. The drugs and all that stuff was really a search for love. But when people look for love in things outside of them, sometimes those folks I found have this incredible, wonderful tenacity. Some of the people I've talked to in the prisons have tried this, and they've tried meth, and they've tried drugs, and they've tried everything, and they keep trying and trying and trying. And you look a little deeper, and you find that wonderful desire to feel loved. And what you sang about, you know, you have to start not only finding love in yourself and expressing it, but a reason for love that goes beyond what we see with our eyes. And I found that reason actually on an overdose of LSD, when in the middle of this tumultuous, terrible, thoughts flying over all over the place experience, love pierced through that overdose and spoke to me in a way that healed that LSD trip and brought me to a new place where I began to find that love is like music. It fills all space. And if I asked you right now how much music is in this room, you could say none, unless you knew about radios. And then if you knew about radios or iPods or iPod touches and all the other things, you would say there's lots of music, infinite amounts of music, but you can't hear it unless you tune into it. And what I found is there was this incredible man I didn't know about when I was a little girl. And his name was Christ Jesus. And I learned about him from a woman named Mary Baker Eddy, where she told me that this man wasn't what I thought he was, a little piece of God that came down, but that he was a man who knew about love. He was a man, because he didn't have a birth dad, who had this incredible spirituality. He could see the invisible music that's in a room that maybe other people couldn't see, the music being God's love. And he saw this love so clearly. He was so convinced of it that he walked the earth and said, "The kingdom of heaven is at hand." And when people tried to die in front of him, he said, "No, rise up." And when they were hungry, he said, "No, here's food." And when they were poor, and he said, "There's money in a fish's mouth," he just wiped out all the static that the music would have been imposed on by, the music of love. And that precious man, because of his wonderful birth without a birth dad, could see this incredible love like no man on earth. And I began to think, this guy is kind of like my GPS. He's showing me things that are here that I didn't know were here. Nobody showed me about love. I've been taught that love was a dream. Love was something from other people. Love wasn't something that was real for everyone. And yet this wonderful man, because of his incredible tuned-in nature to love, said, "No, God is love. And we're love's individual children, loved and cherished." And Mary Baker Eddy, the woman who taught me about love, pointed out that his name, Christ Jesus, means the man who saw saw the presence of love. It was a title given to this man. So I began to find there were things in love that I could get in tune to. And I began to tune into love by thinking deeply, not just, no, don't do it, don't do drugs, don't do this, don't do that. I don't hold, don't do, thou shalt not, thou shalt.